Hello everyone. Today I will be working on the air conditioning for my 2002 Hyundai Santa Fe. I have the 2.4 liter engine in this vehicle, and this is an automatic. The things I will be replacing today is I will be replacing this valve back here, the TXV valve, also referred to as the expansion valve. So there you have that there. It's held in by 2 bolts. Also, I will be replacing the condenser, which is this unit here, and then this is the dryer. You'll hear people talk about replacing the dryer as well. And then the next thing I'll be replacing is the compressor. I purchased a Denso brand new condenser or compressor, and I will be replacing all of those today. So the first thing you'll want to do when replacing these is you will need to take your vehicle to a certified shop. That way they can properly evacuate the Freon from the AC system. Once you have done that, which I have already done, before starting any work on this, you'll want to disconnect your battery just to be safe. It's always a good rule of thumb to do. So I have raised the vehicle up. My first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace this valve here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the battery. Get that out of the way here. And then this is not completely necessary, but I am going to remove this plenum. I'm doing all of this with a 10 millimeter. And then instead of removing each screw one at a time, just lift straight up. They shouldn't fall out anywhere. Alright. And that gives me plenty of access to that valve now. So I'm going to start with this valve here. Put a light over here to help see it. So there's 2 bolts on the front of this valve. You'll want to remove the 2 top facing bolts. I'm going to use a Torx bit. It's a TX30, or if you do not have that, you could get away with using a 3/16 just Allen. So go ahead and remove this real quick. So when removing these, be sure not to pull them out and lose your washer. Each bolt has a washer on it, and it can slide over the threads. So I'll show you there. There we go. This washer just can slide straight off if it ends up sticking. Once you have these 2 top bolts removed here, you can now remove this center bolt. And once you pull all this off, it'll come straight back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. That 3rd bolt did not have a washer on it. Looks like it just is actually recessed into the little hole there. Alright, so now that I have all the bolts removed, I'm going to pull back on it. So I'm going to pull it toward the front of the car. So the system was evacuated, so that was not Freon. It's probably just still under a vacuum. So you could pull it out and then slightly move it to the right so that you are not kinking any of the lines, and then wiggle your pieces off here, and there you have it. So then you will want to compare your new and old. So they look pretty similar. When putting all these back together, it is very important to make sure that everything is clean. So you want to make sure there's no debris on any of the O-rings when you're sealing everything back on. So now I'm going to go ahead and place this back in. Alright, so first we're going to take our new piece. We're going to pull these lines back, put this in place, and then you're going to carefully pull the lines toward the front of the vehicle. Try to position them. Make sure everything, you should not have to force anything. So, as you can see, it's all in there. Let me shine a light. Everything should be flush. It only fits in one way, so there should be no forcing, or you will damage stuff. So then you take your small screw here, get that started in the middle. Alright, and then you take your long ones. Well, we're going to actually need to torque that down first. Alright, so I have it finger tight here. So now I'm going to tighten it down. And I'm just going to cinch it down pretty good by hand. This is aluminum on here, so try not to be too rough with it. And then I'm going to start both of my bolts here. I could not find a torque spec for tightening down this valve, so I found one for 16 foot-pounds and 100 inch-pounds, but I am comfortable just torquing it down by hand. Once you have that center one tightened down, go ahead and start these ones, tighten them most of the way down by hand. Again, don't be too rough with it because it is aluminum. It could easily damage something. And then if your cap fits, your new cap, you place it over the top here. And there you have it. We are done with that expansion valve. Now I am going to move on to replacing the compressor.